This Japan trip had no right to be this amazing. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know me, yes, of course I am obsessed with Japan. But this channel is all about kitchen knife knowledge, reviews, unboxings, and head-to-heads. And today I'm going to talk to you about my most recent trip to Japan. Personally, my third trip. I feel very fortunate to have had the opportunity, but it is not without Bonsai Boys Trading. They hired me to essentially introduce them to the world of Japanese kitchen knives. I went to Japan so that I could facilitate meetings with knife smiths, sharpeners, brands, and essentially anyone who I thought was doing something really unique and special in the Japanese kitchen knife world. So thank you once again to Bonsai Boys Trading. Now this Japan trip means a lot to me, but it's not what you think it might have been. It's not about Shinjuku crossing. It's not about city lights at nighttime. It was about lots and lots of countryside driving, getting on 17-hour ferry rides just to go see a knife smith, a sharpener, a brand. So clearly lots of traveling, and that's I think what made this so unique. I was there for 6 days, and in 6 days so much happened. And essentially what this video is going to be, it's going to be a little blog type slideshow voiceover of me trying to bring that experience to you as much as possible through mainly images, but also some video. I'll also be working on a second video for the channel about my most recent Japan trip. You'll get a hint of what that is a little bit further down the line, but I hope you'll stick around to watch this video and then the next. Now, if ever you've wanted to go to Japan, please leave a comment down below. Let me know, is there a particular knife smith, sharpener, or brand you really want to go to? Maybe you just want to go to Shinjuku Crossing like everyone else in the world because it is a cool crossing. Either way, share your thoughts. Without further ado, please enjoy this recapitulation of Japan trip September 2023 and see you in the next video. So we started with the obvious picture. You haven't really gone on a trip unless you take an airport selfie. Of course, once I got to Denver, I was happy to find Chick-fil-A. A good friend of mine works there, and so I just had to have Chick-fil-A for the very first time. That chicken biscuit was so delicious with 2 ingredients. Next, have you really been on a trip unless you've posted a picture of what you're flying over? Some of the mountains in Denver. Then, of course, you all know that you gotta show those airplane snacks. That butter chicken was actually freaking delicious. Now, you have to watch a movie while you're eating because that's the only way to do things. And once you get to Japan, there's almost no better way to show you're in Japan by showing some of the funny infographics, because you're going to be using the bidet toilet. Now, men out there, don't be shy. The bidet toilet is the best thing to exist after the toilet itself. I had one relaxing night where I went to Piss Alley to take a picture. Now, apologies to my Japanese friends, but the term Piss Alley in English is much easier to remember than the actual Japanese name. But if you're unsure what it's called in Japanese, best thing to do is just Google Piss Alley Tokyo and the Japanese name will show up. Of course, once you get to your first hotel, what you gotta do is you gotta send your wife a 360 video of that hotel and be like, actually look, it's not that small. Next, I gotta get the holy trinity of drinks: CC Lemon, Rainbow Boss Coffee, and Pocari Sweat. Boy, did I miss all of those. And here's then a picture of my first katsu sando, my first of many. In fact, I literally had 1 katsu sando a day while I was in Japan. So that's right, I was there 7 days. That's a minimum of 7 katsu sandos. My first ramen and fried rice, and let me tell you, it hit different. I ate all of this, wanted more, but of course to be polite, didn't want to overeat, and so I was very content with what was put in front of me. Now I'm fully immersed in Japan as I'm taking pictures of streets in Japan. The mandatory duck lip selfie, followed by another meal. That panko encrusted shrimp was freaking amazing. We then got on a 17-hour ferry ride. For those of you who know me, I don't swim, so of course I had to pretend like I was enjoying myself on the ferry, and truth be told, I did enjoy myself. Took some footage out the window the following day, and again, to pretend like I'm okay with an open ocean, I took a bit of a Frankie in a meditative pose picture. The only food that was available on the ferry was actually kind of cool and quirky. It was only frozen foods from a bunch of vending machines, each vending machine with a letter and a number for the food item, and then you had to go to the corresponding microwave, click on the number, and boom, walk away for a few minutes, come back, frozen food into fresh food, somewhat. Speaking though of things that are frozen, what wasn't frozen were the beverages. I absolutely loved this Pepsi Refresh shot, and of course had to take a picture of it by the window of the ferry. Now, it wasn't all water on this trip. What we really got to see and appreciate for those of us that weren't driving, sorry Rocky, was gorgeous, gorgeous Japan countryside. This was on our way to Kochi on Shikoku Island, where we met the famous, the adored, the fan favorite Myojin-san, the sharpener for his own brand, Tetsujin Labo, Tetsujin Hamono, and basically a bunch of other brands, including he is the sharpener for the Konosuke Fujiyama FM line. He got to show us his shop, which was freaking awesome. Then of course you have that famous shot of what is knives in a bucket of antifreeze so that they don't rust. You have the sharpening guides. You have Myojin just being Myojin with that super cool hair. I can really see why people like him. Very personable guy, easy to talk to. The humidity in Japan was insane. The morning after we met Myojin, I got out of the hotel. The hotel of course had beautiful air conditioning, and it was so hot outside that my camera fogged up, and this kind of shows that. More countryside, more mountains, artistic pictures of Rocky as he drives us to our next destination. That next destination being none other than Sakai Knife City. We went to HADO, and not only do I love the HADO knives from A to Z in terms of the production of the knife, but boys, their shop done exactly like the knives. Super, super organized, super stellar, super precise. There I met someone that I was very much looking forward to meeting. I wasn't sure if he was going to be in the shop that day. Maruyama-san, the sharpener for the HADO Gyoto that I own in my collection. Took a few selfies because that's the way we do things. And then next up, that same day, is we got to meet Hiroyasu Tatsumi. These are 4th generation traditional Japanese handle makers. Here's a bit of a sample of a video that I'm actually working on specifically just about these handle makers. Then we gotta get artsy again with some shots taken out of the hotel in Sakai. Are we really in Japan? Unless there's pictures of a vending machine, one of thousands if not millions. Signs, bikes, all of this essentially is a great way to show Japan, even an architecture shop for you. More countryside, some beautiful looking trees, more vending machines, more countryside, this beautiful flower that I'm not quite sure what it is, but if anyone knows, let me know. Monkeys, which sadly I did not have a chance to see, find, or pet, despite them saying, please do not pet the monkeys, they are diseased. The next stop was in Sanjo. We met none other than Mazaki-san, who does everything on his knives from A to Z, including flattening on whetstones. That same day, we also went to see Jodai, who's essentially a laser engraver and also seller of items that one can engrave on, or just kind of like wholesale cutlery. Just think of all like the knickknacks that you would have in your life. More countryside as we head to our next destination, and probably my favorite destination because I have good friends there, my brothers from Japanese mothers, Yuki-san to the left and Gaku-san to the right, the owners and amazing, amazing artisans of Isamitsu knives. Here's some pictures of Yuki-san working on a knife that I bought from Isamitsu, a knife that is currently being shipped to my house, and you will get to see the unboxing once I receive it. Then Gaku had another surprise for me as he drove me to Narita Airport the morning of Saturday. And longtime supporter Nasu-san wanted to meet with me because he knew that there was a particular sauce, yakinoku I believe it's called, that had been confiscated from me when I was at the airport a year ago in Montreal. And so since that sauce is from his town, he was kind enough to bring me 2 bottles, shake my hand. We talked about stove cookware because he is a collector of stove with 25 pieces, an absolute honor to meet him. We then finished the day, my day anyways, in Japan with not only the best unagi I've ever had, amazing restaurant, but also I got to play this random draw lottery where I was probably the only tourist who wanted to win the smallest tutu, the smallest little Shiba bear. Why? Because it had to fit in my luggage, and so I was lucky enough to win number 4, which means I could grab anything on the 4th row. And what I grabbed, of course, was nothing other but a beautiful representation of Kino, or Shiba back in Canada. Well, that's Kino, Shiba in Japan.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm so happy.
As if it wasn't an amazing day already, there was also a festival. I have no idea what the festival was about, but it was super cool, intricate, lots of detail in the costumes and the props. People were bringing this huge carriage halfway down the street, and then at the blow of a whistle, just pulling it right up. Again, if someone knows what that's all about, let me know. Now, of course, I hadn't posted a picture like this yet. If I haven't convinced you yet to use a bidet when you're using a toilet in Japan, please be reminded that the instructions are in English as well, so no pressure. or high pressure, depends on you. Now, of course, I'm only coming back to Canada if I show proof that I'm eating food on an airplane once again. I, of course, shed some tears when I left Japan, but I could not tell my good friend Gaku that they were tears, and so I told him that they were allergies brought to me by Ibaraki Prefecture, which is where Isamitsu is. He, of course, didn't believe me. And then, to wrap up the trip, I got home, and she instantly gave it to Kino. It was a big hit for Kino. Thanks, guys, for watching. I hope you enjoyed that little blog-style voiceover of my trip to Japan, and catch you in the next one.